everyone. So I'm recording this. So this is being recorded in the cloud. So you've got your privacy is all protected. So you won't be seen on this recording. Okay. So that way I can share it into the group if they, into the manifesting business group if they don't get to see it. Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. So those of you who haven't worked with me, we're going to be doing some deep, I would like to say it's advanced energy work, because just the level of the kinesiology that we're using is quite next level, really. It's beyond mindset. In a way, I believe it's beyond energy work, because we're working with a whole lot of codes to do with the body, to do with a whole lot of things in our energetic systems and in our nervous systems. But, one thing that some of you probably already know about me, I like to keep it really meat and potatoes, because if otherwise you get too ungrounded. And really, this is a business platform. Okay, so if you've got some deep trauma work to do, or you've got some big healing to do, I'm really a healer. And that was my original, beginning was in holistic healing and medicine. But, this is actually designed as a business platform. So sometimes I might be a bit light around the deeper work, and unless, of course, you're working, with me one-on-one, then we do go into some of that deeper stuff. But, please, if you've got something that's a bit of traumatic for you, please go and get the help that you need for that as well. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is we're going to be doing niche. We're going to be calling in your ideal people that, unless you're a midwife, they're already born, they're already here. So it's not like they haven't been born yet. So we can actually claim them, and we can flip them into this paradigm. We can call them in towards you. And what we're going to do is we're going to start, first of all, with money. So this is the code, and people forget this. If you're into astrology, which I'm not into astrology, but an astrologer told me recently, and I found it fascinating, that money and your gifts are in the same house in astrology. And so the thing that I find is a lot of people get really caught in their gift in the world and their talent and doing the work and building the business and leveraging it. And then the money drops because they haven't actually activated the money, or they're really about the money. So they do all the things, they buy all the things, they get all the mentors and all the strategies and all the ads and all the things, and they haven't got the unique work. They haven't got the gift activated. And when you're in that camp, you're always worried that the shoe's going to drop. You're always worried that someone's better than you. You're always worried that the market's going to change. But when you bring these two things together, it's like a marriage made in heaven. It's never going to end. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And really, this is your job. This is your job, is the alignment stuff. Now, I just had a client this morning. It was a man, actually. And it's really different codes for everyone around success. You'll have different codes. And your job is to work out what's your flow, like what's your unique flow. And so for him, he said to me, like, he's super successful. I think he's like one of the top in his state as a real estate leader. And, he was saying, Jen, how am I going to marry the two, like the flow, the manifesting, and being really competitive in the market and really good at what they do. And so and I'm just doing a riff on this because we've got men in the room and women in the room, and it's really interesting to see how it works. Men are quite compartmental, and the masculine is quite compartmental. So if you've got a high masculine as a woman too, you just block some time for it. You just block the time so that you're not always worried about, am I in flow? Am I connected to God or source? You're just like, well, I'm doing that then in the morning. I'm going to do my money mindset in the morning. I'm going to drop into the supernatural. I'm going to connect to God, source, whatever it is. And then I'm going to go and be super competitive in my field. Yeah, you can do it that way. Now, for me, I'm a little bit, because I'm working a little bit more gently, and because my clients, I need to work gently with them, and I need to spend my day in quite a gentleness. I'm going to be weaving in and out, feeling connected to God, dropping in between sessions, hopefully, in the session. But, you've got to work out what your flow is. And then when it works, you just keep doing it. And so nobody can tell you how it works. You've got to find, you'll hear something, go, oh, that's going to work for me. You'll hear it in someone, what someone's offering. Okay, so let's get into it. So let's start. We've got an attitude to start with. So, I just use the kinesiology then for those of you who don't know how I work. And we've got an attitude. And when we start with an attitude, what it's telling me is we kind of have to have a frame for this call. Like, what I love about the way that I work with you guys is I'm not deciding, I'm not the authority, I'm not the boss. We're following the flow of what's coming through with the kinesiology. So you're kind of driving it as well, which is super exciting for me. Okay. So we've got the central vessel. So what basically, isn't it interesting that I just started riffing on the masculine and the feminine? I don't quite know why I started talking like that, but here we go. Straight away, we've got an attitude of balancing the masculine and the feminine. And one of the things that's coming up here is inadequate. Now, I just like geeking out on this stuff. It's the central vessel, which is the feminine aspect, in combination with, because what kinesiology does, it brings things together, like it works out coordinates. And if we can shift that coordinates, we can shift the whole pattern. We can get a shift for the human. And so, it's interesting because it's a central vessel, which is your feminine aspect. And it's pericardium. Now, in Chinese medicines, that's your heart within your heart. Your heart within your heart. I love this. I can see where this is going. Your heart of hearts is your pericardium. If you think about it in anatomy, you've got the heart, and then you've got the pericardium is like protective layer around the heart. Now, one way to see this, and I think this is what we're doing with niche, you've got, when you're marketing and you're doing your messaging in the world, you've got a lovely, gate, nice little, hey, this is where I live. And people come up, right? And they can come into you, and they come to your house. And to actually let them in the front door is like the pericardium, right? So they might come in, they might sit on the porch, but you might not let them into the house. Like someone's delivering something, you might not let them into the house. So the challenge here for you, if you feel protected enough, because the pericardium is about self-protection, it's about intimacy, it's about all that stuff. If you felt protected by source, protected by your soul, protected by the world, protected by your bigger work in the world, do you think you could let people into the heart of your hearts around your business? Into the heart. Now, here's the thing. We're going to open another drawer. And there's a whole lot of layers here that normally I teach, but I can see you all there and it's just going for it. There's another layer to this. You're not actually letting them into your heart. So you don't need to worry. We've got the heart of the business. So we create another whole energy field for the business. Really good for women because they cannot hold the frequency of a business as easily as perhaps the masculine can. They're designed for that. And this is why women get adrenal fatigue, they put on weight, they do all that stuff because they're trying to hold the energy field of the business, right? So this business wants to do its thing in the world. I wasn't going to go to this, but it's looking like it's coming through. The business, the energy of the business wants to do its work in the world. You've got no right to get in the way of that. You got to get cracking. So what we're going to do is today we're going to work out the money energy of that. What it is that you're trying. Does it want to be a 10K a month business energy? It might not want to be. It might want to build to $1 million a month. Some do, some don't. I don't think mine does, by the way. But some do. I've got people in the room who've built $3 million businesses in the last friggin' 4 years. Amazing. When I'm just so impressed with that. Yeah. From an idea, from a unique idea, from a calling. So we can't get in the way of the calling, and we've got to let the business be what it is. And one of the things that we can do today too is we can allow the niche to tell us. We can allow the niche to tell us and the business energy to tell us, and we can show up like pleasure laden, beings feeling completely blessed to be in the game. It's a whole different way of seeing business. Okay. So I want you to tap in. We're going to clear this inadequate energy because it's not about you. It's weird because everything's a paradox. You know that everything's a paradox. it's not about you. Okay, it's about getting the unique work out of the world. It's letting the business grow. It's letting it have its own oxygen. It's getting out of the way. The other side of it is it's only about you and nothing else matters. Do you think you can hold both of those concepts in your system at the same time? It's not about you. The business has to grow. It wants oxygen, wants to be everything it can be. At the same time, it's only about you, and that's all that matters. We'll come back to that at the end, because if you can balance both of those things in your system at the same time, that's when we get that next level entrepreneurship. You see those people, you see them online. They've got the pleasure codes, they've got the abundance codes, they've managed the mysteries of that, to hold that mystery of those two things at the same time. Okay, so we're going to do inadequate. So this is actually an Australian bushflower remedy that goes with this affirmation. The affirmation is powerful enough. So the essence of that bushflower is in this, these beautiful vibrational medicines that connect us to the world and to the earth and to the cosmos and to God and everything. So I want you to say, I take responsibility for my attitudes and now choose to kindly, gently, lovingly and supportively transmute, transform, transcend, dissolve my terror, it's coming up, my fear of supernatural or psychic attack. So that's coming up, all right? Into all-encompassing love. I make the commitment to kindly, gently, lovingly and supportively trust in the safety of the universe and act with faith, calmness, and courage. So take a big breath into that. So it's interesting, I did say before, isn't it? Like, if you felt safe. So, there's psychic attack, I think, is a real thing, especially when you're shining. Like, it's just design, it's just good and bad. It's just the energies, the polarities of things. And so we just have to kind of it's really a dance avoiding psychic attack, I think. And I think it's a daily dance. This is why I do a lot of energy clearing and stuff with my clients. It's a daily dance. A lot of my clients lately, especially, I've been really praying for them, like asking that they get a protection over them every day, actually naming them, going through them. And I think it's really important, especially at the moment. And I just have to say at this point, because a few of you on here, I've had quite a few clients just be dealing with some big pain bodies. I want to call them pain bodies recently, that don't even feel like they're theirs. So, this is a real thing. Don't gaslight yourself and think that you're crazy or you're not good enough or you're not this and that. It's a real thing. And so, flip it out of the way, ask for help, do some of the techniques that I've got for you if you need them, and, get back in the light. One of the things, I was actually going to write an email about it today. Whatever you're going through, like, you might have a loss, you might have a marriage divorce, you might have a trauma, you might be in scarcity with as far as your market goes or something like that. Do not let the business suffer. Just decide you're not going to. Because when you're in scarcity as well, or you're worried about the business, that is just, we're just not available for that. We're just not available for that. So I've had lots of experiences of that where I've had heavy stuff to deal with, and I've just absolutely made the conscious choice that my business will prosper even through the drama. So maybe let's just write that affirmation down if you just want to put that in your phone. No matter what I'm going through, no matter what's happening in the world, I am coded to be always increasing my income and loving and loving my unique contribution in the world. Okay, got that? So can we just tap that in? So for some of you that know, I sometimes use this meridian around the ears. It's the meridian of the gallbladder. So it's great for procrastination. It's a really good business meridian, by the way. I've hacked it as a really good, it's about moving forward, not procrastinating, not being resentful, not being in the victim. So you can say what we said, no matter what's happening in my life, no matter what's happening in the world, I'm coded to be always increasing my income and loving my unique contribution in the world. You know, you're just going to get stronger and stronger. That's just how it works. Okay, so let's move to money goals. So what I want you to do, if you want to put in the chat, you can, if you want to do that, or you can just write it down. What is your next level money goal? So I always work with two. So I've got the big one, the woohoo, oh my God, I'm really like holding the frequency of that. I won't tell you what it is because you'll work out all my computer passwords from it and things like that. And I'm going for that, right? And I'm just going for it. It's just where I'm vibrating. It's what I'm imagining for myself. It's the level that I want to, I'm operating from that level. I'm dressing from that level. I'll probably have nicer clothes when I get there. But I'm in the energy of it. I'm having the facial down at the thing now and then as the woman who is in that vibration. I might not be doing the overseas trips. I might not be staying at the resorts just now, but I'll still go and get the facial. It might be one little thing that activates the code of that. You work out the one code. You can't go into, I'm waiting for saving up for something. You got to have the one code. It might be a picture. It might be something that represents you at that level of income, right? Put in the chat if you've got one, if you've got a code that you use. Might be just one cream you use on your face, one smoothie that you buy at the Starbucks or wherever you guys are. The one thing you do that keeps you in the code of that. Everything's about codes, guys. Everything's creative. At the end of the day, everything's spiritual and creative. So you've got this one thing that inspires you. Okay, and then you've got your next level money, your now this month level money goal that you're pushing for. So you can imagine the people that go around and they try and do this money goal that's $1 million and they've only made 10,000, how they end up giving up. They end up giving up, or they end up watching other people getting the $1 million months or the $1 million years, and they feel like shit, excuse my language. So we've got to have one that's yours. And the biggest poison that you've got out there on the internet and in your worlds is following other people's money goals. It's like wanting their husbands or wives. Like, please don't do that. It's against spiritual law. So be inspired by their money goals, but find the one that's resonant with you now, right? So if you're hitting 12K months now, you might want to put 30 or even 20. But if you put 100 and you don't get it this month, you're going to get into green eyes when you see other people getting it. And we want to keep you in your bodies. We want to keep you in your own lane. So this is just the hack I use for money, and it works. And we just grow it because it also keeps you grateful. So you imagine if you've got your money goal at 12K for a 12K month, or even if it's a 5K month or a 2K month, and you've seen all these people online, they're getting 50K months, well, that's what I'm doing, and you're journaling in your journal that's got to happen this month. And then the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, you manage to manifest 10K months and then you feel bad about it. How do you think you're going to multiply? You're not going to be blessed because you're in ingratitude. So you've got to find the alchemy of a money goal that makes you feel grateful and blessed, but it still stretches you. So you go for it, like you go for it all the time. You just go for it and you set the gate. If you're an entrepreneurial mindset, you're here to hustle. So we're not going to take the hustle away. We need the hustle. So just, I don't know if that makes sense around that. So just put in the chat, what is the one that will have you hustling, but it will have you grateful. It'll keep you grateful and feeling like everything you've got is a blessing and not feeling like you're failed again. Put that in. You know, I talk about this a lot. There's money and the money shines about this for when the next money shine comes up, guys. Make sure if you haven't done it to jump into that. But there is magic around the numbers. You just start seeing that number. You just start seeing it. You're writing it. You're writing it. You see it, and then you let it go. Now, remember we talked about compartmental. You can just, if I do mine in the morning, I just do it, and I have a write it down at night. I've got that journal that you guys can all jump on and download and use. You just write in the morning, write it at night, and just and I can honestly say for the rest of the day, I do not think about it. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not thinking, oh, I've got to do 50K a month, 100K a month. I'm not. I'm thinking, okay, what feels like the buzz about work? What's the unique contribution? How can I message this better? Who needs me? Haven't got a client? Which one of my clients need me right now? I've got a gap. Be in the work, be in the work, be in the work. Don't sit back and wait for the money. You'll still get there, but you'll just go so much faster if you're willing to, you know, be in the work, do the work, okay? Because you've already decided the money, so you don't have to think about it. I never work out, used to, didn't work, never work out, if I launch this, I'm going to make this much money. Never do it now because it never works out. It always works out if I don't think about it. And I think, what do people need? Oh, at the moment, I feel like they need this. Okay, I'm going to offer that. That's it. And then randomly something else comes in, you get paid a certain amount of money. What's the other thing you're offering wasn't going to make the money goal? Strange, especially in real estate. Like if you're getting around counting listings and trying to work out your income for the year, I know the coaches tell you to do that, and it's smart to do that on some level, but don't do it when you're manifesting. Please don't. Just already decide that you are $1 million rider or whatever you want to be. And then you just get on with your contribution. We use the archetypes for that. Like if you're a nurturer, you're showing compassion. Your messaging is about compassion. You're all about compassion. You've got a really compassionate team. And you just go from there, and then you just check your numbers, do the manifesting in the bath or the shower in the morning or your walk or whatever you're doing. I'll just say one other thing about this. When you're moving, in kinesiology, we've got proprioceptors. They're in your hips and you're in the jaw. They're in the jaw. Now, if you think about this, this is so important. If you think about intimacy, why is intimacy so intimate? We're using the jaw and we're using the hips. I don't want this to be a sex class, but can you see how important it is? That's why it just feels so intimate, because you're in someone's whole pattern. So when you're walking, that's why I get all my clients to walk and manifest. You put the frequency, your goals into your brain pathways, because it goes into the left and right hand side of the brain and all the primitive brain and all that. And when you're talking, you're putting out a message. This is why 4 agreements, they talk about being impeccable with your word, remember? Because you're sending spells. So, you know, and I imagine kissing is probably the same thing. You want to kiss your children, you want to kiss your loved ones, you want to get a message through to them with your jaw. So, you know, that's another thing. Some people don't visualize well. They need to talk out their goals, why they often do well with a coach or a loved one that can hold the frequency of the dream, or they talk to themselves, or they sing it out. They sing to music while they're thinking about it, and they hold the frequency of the money and the abundance. Well, the money's abundance, really, isn't it? It's what you can do with the money. Okay, so let's get into it. So we're going to have this money. So just say my goal for this balance. We call this a balance, by the way. My goal for this balance is, and then say your figure. Say the one that you've got wanting to go for now, a month. Yeah. So I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine the goal after healing. So then just get you into that energy. And then what I want you to do is just open your eyes. You're going to bunch up your fingers. These are sort of like kinesiology points. We're going to have your eyes straight. You're going to look at your fingers, and we're going to move them around very, very slowly. Very, very slowly in a circle. So there's a whole lot of physiology that's happening when we do this. We're pulling things from the primitive brain. Each finger's got a positive and negative charge. So each finger's like a, if you like, a masculine and a feminine. So we bunch them up, it activates a whole like whole thing in you. Yeah. Okay, so I just want to clear some affirmations on the money to start with. So let's just have a look. Money goes out as quick as it comes in. It's coming up as a thing to clear. Money's allowed to flow. Let money flow. Don't worry about that. Don't have a story around bills. Just choose not to. Do them in automatic payments so you don't have to get triggered by them when they come in as much as possible. Yeah. Okay, so let's just stack these in and we're going to do them around the ears. I'm able to save and build my wealth. I'm able to save and build my wealth. Okay, close your eyes and say it. I'm able to save and build my wealth. So we put it into the feminine when you close your eyes. Open your eyes. I'm open to save and build my wealth. We put it into the masculine. There we go. Easy peasy. Okay, I'm in the flow of money and abundance. Let that go into your heart. I'm in the flow of money and abundance. Imagining that you are, even if you can't see it. I'm in the flow of money and abundance. Okay, let's close your eyes and put it into your inner worlds. I'm in the flow of money and abundance. Put it into dream time. I'm in the flow of money and abundance. Send it out to the dream time. I'm in the flow of money and abundance. Okay, that's good. Cool. All right, let's do this calling in the niche stuff. This is powerful and I just love this so much. I get so much when I'm doing this in a bit more of an intimate environment where I can talk to you guys. I just get so inspired by people's niche contribution. I kind of geek out on it. So let's do this now. This is your gift in the world, okay? So I want you to close your eyes. If you want to turn off your videos just to drop deeper into it's just you and into the thing we're doing. And we're going to take you on a journey. So you're going to be surprised and delighted how easily it is going to be to remember all of the information that you're going to learn during this visualization. Plus you can watch the recording, even once it's complete. So you can trust your other than conscious mind to remember exactly what's important to remember. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine walking into a lovely courtyard setting. Now, if you don't want a courtyard setting, it may be in some sort of a nature setting. And you'll notice that it's set up as if to receive someone very important. And as you walk closer in line, in the front of the line, you're going to see happy people with welcoming smiles on their faces. And as you move closer, you notice that these people are clients. People you've worked with, and even people that you've yet to work with. They're all lined up as if in a receiving line. And you realize that the person that they're so happily waiting for is you. And as you walk towards them to connect or reconnect with them, the first person in the line gives you a warm welcome, saying thank you so much. And then you move to the next one and they're thanking you as well. And as you move down the line, there's another one that greets you and says thank you. And then they look into your eyes and they remind you, before I met you, I was really stuck and struggling with. And you hear them describe what their situation was. It was so difficult for them that they just knew they had to do something about it. The emotion they feel as they tell you about their past struggle is clear to you. It all comes back to you as they paint such a vivid picture of what their challenge was. And they even share details with you that they hadn't known before. So just take a pause there And just write down what they told you. So the emotion they feel as they tell you about their past struggle is so clear. And the two of you take a moment to celebrate how different their life or business is now. And the change is quite dramatic. Inspired, they begin to tell you, the biggest change in my life has been, the biggest change in my life has been. And you hear them tell you with so much excitement and gratitude exactly what is different from them, for them now because of your work together. So the biggest change in my life has been. And then take a moment while you got it fresh, jump it down. You're working in an inner field at the moment. You're working in a quantum field. So you're basically on soul plane. You're basically right now on soul plane, talking to your clients, to your soulmate clients. Okay, so you thank them for sharing so much and you move on to the next person in line who, like the others, is so happy to see you. They begin too to tell you how different their life and their business is now. You hear their voice say to you, before I was struggling with, and you hear them describe what their situation was. It was so difficult for them that they had to do something about it. And then they start to get really specific. So just close your eyes and let the details come in. What's the specific details? It'll be a random, amazing marketing hack, a message you can send to the world to call them in. What's the specific details? They tell you the details about how different their day-to-day life is now. Even how their life and relationships have changed. Basically just downloading your new copy, guys, for today's marketing blast. The emotion they feel as they describe how different their day-to-day life is now is clearly stamped on their face. You're amazed. So just feel that. Come back to them, close your eyes, and just feel the amazement, and just make a note. Where is it in your body when you just get this, oh my goodness, I'm amazing? Where is it in your body? Where's it stored? Where does it hit you that you're amazing? Put in the chat, I'd like to know too. Where does it hit you when you know that you're amazing? When someone tells you you're amazing, where do you get it? So you can install that code when you're walking and you're doing your manifesting. You just put in, oh, that's right, I forgot I'm amazing. Yeah, heart's always a good place. Okay, so you're amazed because even though you know that you're good at what you do and you love what you do, you had absolutely no idea how utterly impactful your work has been for these people. So we're bringing, basically, you know what you're doing at the moment? You're calling all your energy back. So I just have a little talk into this for a minute. When you're working, your energy goes out, you know, real estate, coaching, whatever you're in, entrepreneurship, your team, your energy goes out and then you're tired and then you go to sleep and then you take the kids to footy, whatever you're doing, right? What we're doing is we're calling all the energy back and we're letting it impact us back. Boom. Just letting it hit us back. We're calling all the energy, all the things you've done for everyone, calling all the energy back. We're feeling the impact of that within ourselves. It's like closing an energy leak, if you like. Yeah. So as you continue through the line, you're hearing more and more about the results your satisfied clients are so happy to have received from working with you. And at the end of the line, you've turned around and you look back and you take a moment to notice all these people. Just take a breath into that. You'll notice what is so similar about them that you can clearly see they are your community. In fact, you notice details about them that you've never noticed before. So put into the chat, what is the thing, or put on the notes. So if I look at all you guys, I go, everybody's kind. Everybody's kind in here. Put your hand up if you're not kind. Nobody's got their hand up. I attract super kind people. That's what I've just realized in this moment, who are very clever, who are very talented, who are business-minded, but everything in common, everybody's kind. Everyone's super kind in this room. Now, if I was going to a normal marketing thing, they go, what's your niche? I go, no, not real estate. No, not coaches, not business owners, kind people who are business-minded. See how it's a whole different world. It's a whole different way of seeing it. And then you talk to those kind people, you care for those kind people, you create clients out of those kind people. So, that's the thing. Okay, so what have you noticed? Put in the chat, what is it? What is it the same? What's the same frequency? You've got to talk to the soul frequency, not necessarily what they want. What's the soul frequency? The aligned frequency of these people. So you can speak, what's in the heart? Like, what's the similar heart? If you do business from the heart, it's so much easier. Yeah, it's a heart energy. Okay, from where you are now, you realize, back in the line with all these people, that there is something you're so passionate about and that it's something that you stand for no matter what. What I mean to say is, what do you stand for? Like, when you look at these people, what do you stand for? So it's something that you might have struggled with yourself, and you absolutely don't want anyone else to struggle with it. What is it? So if I want to I've never got kind before, by the way, when I've done this. So if I think about that kind thing with you guys, I would not want you to struggle making money and being the top of your field because you're too kind. We've got to monetize the kind. We've got to monetize the talent. We've got to make you the standout so that the not so kind people don't win. Yeah, that's what I'm passionate about. And that's why we do a lot of psychic attack work, where we clear blocks and things off people. No, that's not happening on my watch. These guys aren't going to get that hit. They're going to the top. Yeah. Okay. As you look back at these happy, satisfied people you've helped, what do you realize that you're an expert in? What do you realize that you're an expert in? What have you got? You can get quite meat and potatoes on this. It might be it might be clearing blocks. It might be marketing, marketing. It might be negotiating. It might be confidence. Yeah. As you look back at the rows of happy, appreciative faces, and you think back to where you started, and in a way, you might be starting today, like you might be starting fresh today. What decision did you have to make? What decision did you have to make? What switch did you have to flick that you were absolutely not available to make that money, that you were just going to hold the tension? We talk about a lot in these classes. You just hold like a golden rope. You just don't let it go. No, I'm definitely making this much money. The strategies will show up, the people will show up, the launch will show up, the right ideas will show up, but I'm not letting go of the idea that that's what I'm going to be making. Then you go to sleep, have a good sleep, wake up, do the same thing the next day. You got to hold the tension of the goals. It's a Dr. John Demartini thing as well. You got to hold the tension to pull you up. Can't get loose on it. Oh, well, it's the market. I don't know. Like, I might have to drop my goals down a bit. No, we don't do that. Keep holding it. Okay, so what decision did you have to make? What permission did you give yourself? Maybe it's the permission to not worry about how you look. Maybe it's permission, here's a big one, to not wait till you're healed or feel good to be a success. Because often you get healed by the money. Often you get healed by the gratitude from the clients. Got a big goosebump hit on that head to toe for those of you that need to hear that. I think I've had so much healing from my clients, bless most of you people, most of you guys in the room. If ever I'm low or worried about something and I just keep working and I get on the call and I get so much appreciation and beautiful energy from the people that I work with, I'm just recalibrated back to my unique design, which is to help people and do my thing. So don't wait to feel better, to feel like you've got to be a success. You know, it's like, you know, especially if you're in business, like if you're in a corporate job, you can take leave, right? So if you need to take leave, you take leave. Like someone dies, you take leave, right? I've got a wonderful woman that I know whose baby's born. She's a grandma. So she's not going to work for a couple of weeks. She's going to create the space. But, you know, you can still show up even if you're not feeling good, even if you can't manifest for the last 6 months, you're still going to show up and have another go at it. You're still going to be in the frequency of that. Yeah, you don't have to wait to feel magnetic. You're just going to do it, and then you start feeling magnetic. So that's how it works. Okay, so what did you let go of? What are you letting go of today? Okay, so let's jump into I hope you got some good notes on that. Like literally you could get off the call and go and market that whole letter. You could go and do an email and go, this is, this is what you're feeling. And this is, this is how and sometimes, and you just say the specific details. It's actually a structure of a whole email. If you want to, you could go straight in and you could ask, these are the people that thanked you profusely. You could talk about, just the gratitude of the people that have done a few case studies. You could then go, they thanked you from the bottom of the heart. There was incredible opportunity there. And oh my goodness, it was so great to be part of that deal or that thing that happened. That would be number 2. Number 3, men and women. Sometimes the men that I work with, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes a woman, blah, blah, blah. You can just then tell them who they are, men and women. You can just it's just so easy. Then you could say what they've been struggling on, what they're stuck on. You could just talk about what people get stuck on. And then you could go to the emotion of the stuckness. They weren't sleeping. Their teenage daughter was swearing at them because there was such a shitty atmosphere in the house, blah, blah, blah. You could talk about that because you've already heard that soul client tell you that. You've been in the soul records. You've been in quantum time. You know the truth. You've been supernatural. You've gone to another level and found the information. And then you could say, you know, what they said, what was the biggest change thanks to your gifts? And then you could say, and these were the biggest changes. It's not rocket science. Can you see? We don't have to get clever about marketing. And then you can go, you know, what was the magic? What was the day-to-day life? How different? Talk about the different in the day-to-day. Now they're driving their daughter to TAFE and she's like telling them about her new boyfriend and wonder what she should do about such and such. Whole different story. Tell the whole story. And then it's talking about, what about, you know, how are they so happy? You bring in a happiness code. Another mention of another paragraph on happy. Long copy's good sometimes. And then you go, what are the emotions that they're feeling about themselves? They're feeling like they really had it together, that just because we sold that house like that they've now got their parents back, they feel like a pretty good mother, and, you know, whatever. Tell a story. If you don't know how to tell a story, check out Camilla. She's got a whole copywriting business, right? And you know, the struggle, the expert, say it, be confident. See, the thing is, you really, there's a whole lot of stuff around human design, but 25% of your marketing should be, I'm a badass, I'm the best at this, I'm the expert at this. Not 100%, just 25%. That's what I'm testing with kinesiology. So, you know, you can actually say, I am at the best of this. People want confidence. They want to be around someone who looks like they've got it together. That's the alpha woman and the alpha male. The alpha woman and the alpha male is protective of other human beings. They protect the weaker. So, you know, you step up, if you help people do their sales, they've got oxygen, they've got money, they can pay their mortgage and all the rest of it. Yeah. So you go into that, and a little bit of alpha. What's the permission you're giving yourself to be ultra confident and saying some pretty confident stuff that you wouldn't want, you know, Auntie Elsie to see, because you think, oh, I'm being a bit humble. We don't worry about Auntie Elsie in this. Okay, we've got to have a little bit of alpha. We've got to turn up a little bit of the alpha. Okay, and if you're an empathic person, which most of you are kind people, they don't turn that on enough. So we just do a little bit of alpha at the end. Okay, so I just want to clear what you can't let go of. We've just got another few minutes, so we'll do that. Should I do that one? No, there's radiation coming up. So I just might do a quick flick on radiation. So, you know, you combining being on computers, how it works, just it's not rocket science. Well, it is rocket science. You're online, you're marketing, you're seeing the competition, you're online looking at your banking, you're looking at your bills, you're on the phone all the time, and then you've got low self-esteem because you're worried about stuff. And what it does is it anchors the radiation into the code of that emotion, because everything codes in together. Like if you have a really bad breakup and you're listening to that one song, every time you hear that song, you hate that ex that cheated on you or whatever. Yeah, that's just the way we work with our soul memories, with our cellular memory. And so what I just want to do is I just want to do a quick swipe. I just almost want to delete the software around the radiation. We can just do a quick clearing on it, because what you've stacked into your body and your brain pathways every time you're getting on computers and being in, like we're in radiation now doing this work, we just want to send the code that that's all cleared, that you're letting go this idea that you can't have the money, that you can't have this unique work in the world, that you can't be in the flow of your own messaging and calling in the people that you need to work with. Yeah. So this is a little hack for this. So I'm just going to get you to look at the symbol, and it's a symbol of radiation. And if you want to just tap the top of your head, and we're just telling the body that we're just going to clear radiation from anything to do with the next level. Yeah, because it's coded in, it's probably coded a bit of fear in there. And then with the magic of kinesiology, we're going to ask for one affirmation that will clear that. Love it. Star of Bethlehem. Okay, so Star of Bethlehem's an essence, but you know, they talk about the Star of Bethlehem. The Star of Bethlehem is kind of like your North Star. It's following the star, it's following the light, it's following the promise, it's following the faith, it's following God, it's following wisdom, if you think about the wise men. Yeah, so we've got to follow your own wisdom. There is a really good remedy. It's called Star of Bethlehem. We get it in Australia. It's part of the rescue remedy. I think actually it's not it's a bark flower, isn't it? It's not a, yeah, it's a bark flower. Anyone who's got a bit of trauma, look up the Star of Bethlehem. I think it's in the rescue remedy. You know, the rescue remedy, who takes rescue remedy? Yeah, so get the rescue remedy, have it there. We probably need a bit of Star of Bethlehem at the moment because there's a lot of dark versus light happening at the moment. We just know that from the lockdowns and everything, that all the fear energy that's flipped across, that's flipping around like a lion looking for prey at the moment, jump on your back, especially when you're on social media, which you have to be because you're in business. So, you know, I've been dealing with this myself and I've been talking to a few clients about it. It sometimes gets overwhelming, and I've got all the tools. I've got people working on me. This is my job, this stuff. And it's had me hit a few times. And I've got a super protective shaman type of husband, type of oracle as well, who's like, you know, doing Psalm 91 through the house, like the whole thing. So, you know, and still the wolves get in the house. And so we've got to be really protective. Know that, you know, just know that it's hard, guys. If you're finding it, you know, this, if anyone's telling you it's easy, there, it's false matrix. So it's not true. So we got to be really in the determination of building our soul strength in the world and doing what we need to do. And, you know, then we'll be leading others and we'll be a blessing, and you get blessings when you're being a blessing. So let's say this and just say, I take responsibility for my attitudes and now choose to kindly, gently, lovingly and supportively transform, transcend, dissolve my letting physical, emotional, and mental shocks and traumas upset and create tension and chaos within me into all-encompassing love. I make the commitment to kindly, gently, lovingly and supportively maintain inner peace. Okay, so let's just get that radiation out of the nervous system. So you put your hand on your forehead and we just tap straight down the midline like you've got a zip, and just breathing in and breathing out. Think about everything that you've got through social media, through the phone, being on the computer, and breathing in and breathing out, and in and out. Now, I don't know if you've all got a view there, but if you can look out, I'm looking out at water, national park, trees. I'm wondering if you could just look at the sacred geometry of nature, and we're just going to recode this into a different frequency. So just looking at that, looking at nature and just breathing in and just breathing out and breathing in and breathing out, and just saying, I now choose, breathing in, breathing out, and then say your money goal, such and such months, and in and out. Okay, that's good. Okay, so everyone, you're all looking at a computer now, but just everyone just look at their phone and just let me check. Let me just see if you're coded. Okay. Still something to clear on looking at your phones. You know, you can code your phone. I love doing it. You code your phone, you go, you know, it's actually just, it's just kind of like a magic thing you can do. You go, this is, and then say the amount of months that you're getting. This is da-da-da. And then you look at something and go, and this is a cup. This is my secretary that brings in blah, blah, blah a month. What? And this is a cup. So what you do is you say what you want it to be. This is an abundance for the family. Oh, this is a cup. Yeah. This is 100K months. This is a cup. And so you just code the brain. It's kind of fun. It's funny, I did that the other once in a restaurant. I told my husband about it, and I see, and then bing, bing, my phone went ping, and this whole big PayPal thing just happened to come at that moment. I said, see? And it was just like the synchronicity. It was like, oh no, you're kidding me. I said, oh look, this is the thing I learned today. We can do this. By the way, I don't really worry too much about these little hacky psychic sort of tricks, because we got our deeper work in the world. Like, they're fun little hacks, but really, we're meant to be doing what we're meant to be doing. So, you know, you can play around with these games. They're just fun games because we like a bit of creativity. But really, the big story is, you saw those people in the courtyard. They're waiting for you. You've got work to do. You've already asked and you will receive. You've already asked for the money. You're willing to do the work. You let the money go. Have time to think about the money, then promise yourself you won't think about it all day. Even if you're broke, you just promise yourself you won't think about it. And then you come back at night, how'd I go? Or wait till the next morning, see if you're worried about sleeping. Take some Star of Bethlehem for shock and fear and faith and promise. Yeah. Okay, I accept and retain the benefits of this balance. I now know and believe that once this balance is fully integrated, I have such and such K months. And I'm a leader in my field. Okay, that felt good when you said the last bit, actually. So maybe you can do that as a bit of an affirmation, just going around saying, just for the day. Remember, when you're walking and talking, you're programming your left and right hand side of your brain and your primitive brain. It's just all the way. We're so made so beautifully. It's quite amazing, isn't it, when you think about it? The easiest hack is just get in your heart. Find a way to get in your heart. If you're feeling bitter, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling, you know, a victim or left behind, you just find a way to get in your heart. That's why I like meeting the people that are thanking you, because it makes you feel so like, oh my God, I feel, you kind of get like getting a bunch of flowers from someone puts you in your heart. You know that feeling? Get back in your heart, then you'll know what to do. You know what to do always. I can't remember what the affirmation I said. Is it, I make the commitment to kindly, gently, lovingly, and supportively maintain inner peace? I think that's it. Okay, so guys, any questions on that? Any questions? I have to announce that tomorrow we are starting the business flow coaching. If you want to work with me in that small container, it's very limited people in that container, and you get private sessions, which is extremely limited in my schedules. Those of you guys that work with me know. And you also get the group and this class every week. So there's plenty of up levels, and it's a 4-month container, and we just put you back on track, and you get that intimacy with me as well. So let me know if you're interested in that. It starts tomorrow, so there's one more sleep before you can not get in. So let me know. And I love to see you all here. It was such a buzz to see all your beautiful faces. And yeah, I love you heaps, guys. And those of you that are staying on for the coaching, stay on. And I'll see you, the rest of you, soon. Ciao, ciao. Bye.